Now, this is just an absolute shame. I brought a new franchise to the NHL, the Baltimore Bulls, and when I brought this franchise to the NHL, I thought we were going to be bringing in superstars alongside the franchise. I thought we were getting Connor McDavid. I thought we were getting Cale Makar, but I made the call to the commissioner, and he said, nah, you're starting with 0 overall players. I'm not giving you any players to start with, so yeah, this is what we have, 36 overall players. You might as well say we have no players on this team, and we have to rebuild this team. However, we're going to rebuild it a different way. Now, normally when I rebuild a team, we go through the draft, get a bunch of great players, then we make some moves in free agency, make a ton of trades, but we're not going to be allowed to sign any free agents this time. How we're going to build this team is strictly through trades and drafting. I'm not allowed to pick up any free agents. We're starting with nothing but draft picks, and I have to turn the draft picks that we do have into players, and then turn those players into more players, and we're just going to be flipping assets the entire video. So as I mentioned, we have draft picks to work with, one in the first round, one in the second round, one in the third round. This is all we have right now. We have to turn these picks into players, and then we have to turn those players that we draft into even more players through trades. No free agencies allowed in this video. We're not allowed to sign any free agents. This is going to be one of the hardest rebuilds I've ever done. So we're locking in for the next 10 years with the Baltimore Bulls. I'm going to be rebuilding this team, and we're going to build them a dynasty from scratch. So let's go ahead, simulate up to the trade deadline, but I don't even know why I'm simulating to the trade deadline, because it's not like we can make any moves. We have nothing here. So while I have a quick chat with our coach, if you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 80k subs by the end of the month. So I think it goes without saying, the Baltimore Bulls dead last in the entire league, 0 wins here, 0 goals. We didn't take a single shot. We allowed way more than 1,023 goals, but that's what it caps out at. It can't comprehend allowing more than 1,023 goals. Now you might think allowing more than 1,023 goals is incredibly unrealistic, but you have to remember, this season was unrealistic because the Toronto Maple Leafs won a Stanley Cup. Clearly that's not going to happen. Clearly that's not something realistic to see. So yeah, what about this season was realistic? If we're going to continue to be unrealistic here, let's allow Baltimore to get the first overall pick. But we all know we're going to be dropping to the second overall pick as Detroit jumps from 6 to 1. But at least we didn't drop from 1 to 3 this time. We're still dropping from 1 to 2, but it could be worse. Now I'm really happy to see that the guy projected first overall isn't going to have franchise potential, because I would have been very upset if we missed out on a franchise potential player. However, I already have my eye on one player in this draft. His name's Frondell, and the reason I have my eye on this man is he's projected 16th overall, but I know for a fact he's going to have medium league potential. So if we trade back to the 14th overall pick and select him, we're going to be able to get a ton of assets alongside the 14th overall, and we're going to bring in like 2 or 3 players. So we're going to move back to the 14th overall, and we're going to make a deal with the Nashville Predators. Not only are we going to end up getting an elite potential player, but look how much value this second round pick has. With this second round pick, we're walking away with a medium league potential player. If we trade for the 14th overall, we also get a medium-league potential player, but we also can get something else as well. So this is what we're going to do. The second overall is going to be sent over to the Nashville Predators. We get the 14th, which is going to be Frondell, a medium-league potential player. We're going to bring in Evangelista, Edstrom, and Molendyk. So 3 really good players alongside the 14th overall. I think we're finessing here. If we can't get Edstrom, it's not the end of the world, but I do want to get these 3 assets. They're saying no. I'll give you a 7th round pick. Like, I know for a fact we're not going to be getting a superstar with the 199th overall, but if we can get this package done right here, it's going to be worth it. They're still saying no. How about 2 7th rounders? Like, the lucrative 7th round picks are going to help us get this deal done. Isn't going to be enough. They're still saying no. What else do I want to give up here? Because I really want to get this deal done, but I don't want to give up anything super valuable. I guess I can give you a 5th round pick and a 7th. I don't want to do too much more than this. The 133rd overall, we're probably not getting too much with, but I do want this deal, and it's still not enough. 2 7th rounders then. I mean, granted, we do have to realize the 133rd overall, the 199th overall, and a future 7th rounder. None of these assets really have that much value, but Luke Evangelista and Molendyk, yeah, they're certainly going to help us, but Nashville just refuses to say yes. So instead of a lucrative 7th round pick, it'll be an even more lucrative 5th round pick. Just say yes to this deal. We finally got it done. So we're moving back to the 14th overall pick, but I think we're going to be okay here. Frondell is going to join the team. 76 overall. Never mind, a 74 overall. I take it back. 74 overall Frondell, medium league potential. Yeah, we certainly finessed them in that deal. Now we have a tough decision to make here. Ravensburgen, medium franchise potential. I know you don't have that. You have medium league potential. However, Eddie Genborg, you could potentially have medium league potential. I feel like that's too much of a risk here. I feel like we just go with Ravensburgen. We know what we're going to get here. We're going to walk away with a medium league potential player, but we might end up trading up a little bit. So we're going to go ahead, draft our medium league potential goaltender, 67 overall, but now we're going to make a play for this Detroit pick. So I'll give you the rest of our picks for this draft. The 67th overall, the 100th overall, and the 166th overall. It's a bit of a risk, yes, but if we can pull this deal off and actually get a medium league potential player, we're going to be in a good spot. The only thing that could potentially backfire here is the guy I'm drafting is actually a real person, and I'm just not aware of that. But there's a very good chance that Genborg is actually actually a real person, and I'm just getting completely finessed here. I feel like he is a real person. I think I drafted him in my last video. You know what? We're still getting a medium top 6 potential player here, so it could be worse. He is 1000% a real person. I could have just simply Googled this, but nope, I decided to take a risk. That was kind of dumb, but you know what? Medium top 6 potential, it could be worse. So Luke Evangelista, I'm going to be honest, I have no clue why you're actually interested in an extension here, but we're still going to get one done. It's going to be 4.8 for the next 4 years. No, like seriously, why do you want to return to this team? We didn't score a single goal. We didn't even take a shot last season, but you're like, nah, that's the franchise I want to play for. Now, it's a little bit unfortunate that we have to do this, but 2 of our left wingers actually ended up retiring on us. So Frondel, I actually need you to play next season. And then Eddie Genborg, I need you to play as well. Like, if we don't have you 2 guys, we actually don't have enough players under contract. Now, in reality, there's not really too much for us to do here. Frondel, you're going to be playing alongside Luke Evangelista. I guess one thing we could do is bring a center in. Molendyk, maybe I'd trade you away. Genborg, maybe I'd trade you. But you know what? Let's go try to find somebody that has basically no trade value whatsoever, trade a 7th round pick for them, and then when they play on the top line, they're going to progress for us and their trade value is going to go up. So who is a player that absolutely nobody wants? I'll give you a 7th rounder for them. So it looks like Pittsburgh's looking to get rid of Nola Chari, and on top of them wanting to get rid of him, bro has basically no trade value whatsoever. So how about we swap 7th round picks, but you also give me Nola Chari in the process? This really isn't enough. You're telling me you won't give me Nola Chari in a 7th round pick for my 7th rounder. I'm going to offer this package over. They think they're getting an absolute steal here. They are, but they aren't. Like, at least we're getting a center, so we have a complete first line here. But yeah, I don't know why you guys think you're getting such a steal with that 7th round pick. Besides that move, we really can't do too much. We got to tank for another season and ideally get the first overall pick, bring Gavin McKenna to the team, and then proceed to trade Gavin McKenna for 19 million assets. Now just look at this absolutely spectacular team. Nola Chari, Luke Evangelista, Frondel on the first line, Genborg on the second line with Ern, Marks, and Snoopy. Now we're cooked. This team is going to be terrible once again, but we knew that was going to happen. The real question is, are we going to score a goal this season? I don't see why not. Luke Evangelista, take as many shots as you want. Now, this could be an elite pickup right here. Parker Kelly, 78 overall. He's only got medium top 9 potential, but he just got placed on waivers. So we're going to claim him. We're going to claim any player available on waivers. Travis Dermott, welcome to the team. I'm technically not picking up these guys in free agency. They're just getting thrown on waivers. We're going to claim Fitzgerald as well. I think his name was Fitzgerald. Honestly, I didn't even read what his name was. I just claimed him. But yeah, we've just picked up 3 players. Make that another one. Athanasiou, welcome to the team. Why is there so many players being put on waivers? I have it set to superstars only, and they're just giving me everybody. Okay, we might have a full team by the end of the season just because there's so many players being put on waivers. Okay, no, like real talk, this is actually ridiculous. I have it set to all stars or superstars only, whatever the setting is, and we have claimed what, 6 players now? Make that 7. This is getting ridiculous. Well, after all those waiver claims, we officially have a defense here. Like, we actually have 6 defensemen under contract, and we got 6 forwards under contract. We don't have a ton of really good players right now, but at least we have players. Okay, at this point, I'm not rejecting anybody. If you're thrown on waivers, I'm going to be bringing you to the team. Sam Carrick's going to be next. Also, if you thought I was lying, waiver notifications, stars only. And those are the players I was being offered. You know what? We'll take it. Now, I don't think it's much of a surprise that the Baltimore Bulls are still the worst team in the entire league, but we have scored 85 goals this season. That's a massive step up from last season. 85 more than we had last season. So yeah, the team's not looking terrible here. Luke Evangelista, 41 points. You're an 86 overall. I'm kind of hoping I can trade you here because I feel like your trade value's gone up a little bit. You're an 86 overall. Can't guarantee that. Frondel, 31 points. You're a 75 overall. Probably should be a higher overall than that, but you know, we're not going to talk about it. Nola Chari, has your value gone up? Because I'm looking to trade you. We picked you up for absolute scraps. Like, I traded a 7th round pick for you. Ideally, we can get something better than a 7th round pick back. Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. Nola Chari and Athanasiou sent over to the Buffalo Sabres. We get Kisakov here. Medium top 6 potential, 75 overall. He's 23 years old. If I play him on the top line in the NHL, I think he's going to be able to develop for us. He might be able to be a bottom 6 player in the future, but considering all I'm giving up is Nola Chari and Athanasiou, I can live with that. So I'm going to offer this package over. They would consider Athanasiou. They're not really interested in Nola Chari. We could probably get this done with a 7th round pick. So Athanasiou and a 7th round pick is going to be sent over to Buffalo. We're going to get this deal done. They want 2 7th round picks. What if I flip Nola Chari elsewhere? Like, I can retain half of Nola Chari's contract and we might be able to get a 6th round pick. I highly doubt it, but you never know. Or we could try doing this. Nola Chari at 50% retained for Beauvillier. Beauvillier will be able to re-sign. He'll be a decent enough player for us. They're saying no, I'll give you a 7th round pick. 7th round picks really don't have that much value, but I think it's going to be enough for us to get this deal done. And Beauvillier, if I play you on the top line, your trade value is going to go up. Now Kisakov, I still want to bring you to the team, and we're still going to trade for you, but it's going to be Athanasiou and a 6th round pick. So I'm going to send both of these assets over. Buffalo's saying yes. We're slowly building the team here. We're still not looking good, but at least we have a couple forwards and a couple defensemen now. Now, before we simulate to the end of the season, we might as well handle some extensions. Beauvillier, I'll bring you back to the team. $2 million for one season. Are we actually going to be doing less than that? 1.8. How much money do you actually want? Like, what are you interested in? I think the game is glitched. I'm sorry, but bro's asking price is 2.3 million. I'm going to offer 1.4, and I've almost maxed out his contract interest. How does that work? Travis Dermott, I have to overpay for you, 1.7 for the next two, but we need somebody to play some defensive minutes for us. Alexeyev, I'll do 1.3 for one season. Parker Kelly, you're going to be way too expensive, but I still got to bring you back to the team. 2.9 for one season. No, 2.9 for 78 overall. Bro's wildin'. Dakota Mermis, I'll give you 1.2 for next season. Fitzgerald, you can have 1.1 for next season. And then Kisakov, 775k for the next two. Also, technically, I did have to make one free agent signing, but the only reason I had to do that is to make sure that we had enough players under contract. I'm not trading Bro or anything. I just need him to play in the AHL for us. Okay, never mind. Beauvillier was not interested in that contract I offered him. It kind of makes sense considering I was offering him like 900k less on a 1-year deal. But yeah, you said you were interested in it, so I don't really understand. So at this point, I'll just give Bro exactly what he's looking for. And it actually works out because now we're going to be doing a 2-year deal. So 2 years at 2.3 million, that works for me. I actually prefer that. Now to finish out the season, a couple things went wrong. Of course, we didn't win any games. That's thing number 1 that went wrong. Thing number 2 that went wrong. Luke Evangelista dropped to an 85 overall. So that's not really ideal. 52 points this season, 12 goals, 40 assists. Beauvillier, you had 41 points. I'm not expecting anyone to have really great numbers offensively on this team. Frondell is up to a 79 overall, so that is a really good sign. However, there is one thing that we desperately need here. And what exactly do we need? We need the first overall pick. The Carolina Hurricanes are Stanley Cup champions, but we don't care about that. All we care about is getting the first overall pick here. We dropped to 2. Now, dropping to 2 isn't great by any means, but I think I can work with that. Like, if I package up the second overall pick in Frondell, we should be able to move up to number 1, draft Gavin McKenna, and then get 7 players for Gavin McKenna. Okay, now this works out really well. There's 2 franchise potential players available. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to trade for the first overall pick, draft one of those 2 franchise potential players. We are then going to flip that franchise potential player back over to Ottawa, get a bunch of other assets. I'm cooking here. You just got to trust me. Like, this should be more than enough here. I'm giving up 2 first rounders and 2 second rounders to move up 1 spot here. And y'all still are saying it's not enough. Molendyke, I'm trading you away as well. So this package right here is going to be enough for the first overall pick. I want you to remember what the trade value looks like that I'm offering. I'm going to offer this package over. They're saying yes. So now we're going to draft this franchise potential player. 83 overall. Truthfully, we should keep him on this team. But now we're going to trade him over to Ottawa. I want to be walking away with at least Dylan Cousins. Maybe give me Ridley Gregg, and then maybe give me Shane Pinto. If we can get all these assets, we're going to be winning here. That's exactly what we're doing. So you get the franchise potential player that you wanted. But now I get to draft another franchise potential player. I get Gavin McKenna as well. So now we bring Gavin McKenna to the team, and we're going to flip him. So this is the big time splash I'm looking at here. Gavin McKenna sent over to the Dallas Stars. We get Wyatt Johnston, Thomas Harley, Jason Robertson, the 25th overall, and a future first rounder. Is Dallas willing to give up all this for Gavin McKenna? It doesn't look like it. What if I take the first round picks out though? I don't really care too much about the first round picks if we can get all these assets right here. I'll take the 25th overall pick out as well. Wyatt Johnston, Thomas Harley, Jason Robertson. Can we get all 3 of you guys for Gavin McKenna? They want a little bit more. We're really going to be finessing that team. So I'll give you a 6th round pick. That's going to be enough to get this deal done. I guess not. They want multiple 6th round picks. We don't have multiple 6th round picks, but I'll give you a 5th rounder. As long as we can get this deal done, yeah, we just upgraded the team a ton. The only thing we don't have right now is a goaltender. So I'm going to trade the rest of our picks for this season and next season, except for next season's first rounder, and we're going to finally bring in a goalie. And who is that goaltender going to be? Devin Levi. Welcome to the team. Never mind, it will not be Devin Levi. Instead, we're going to have to go for a goaltender who's 1 overall lower but under contract for the next 4 years. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Welcome to the team. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be a Stanley Cup contender next season, but we're going to be way better than we were this season. So we do have some extensions to give out here. Jason Robertson, Thomas Harley, Shane Pinto, all of them are going to need deals. So we'll do $12 million for the next 7 seasons. And now that I think about it, Jason Robertson, we might trade you. Like, you have really high trade value, and I could probably bring in multiple 85 overall players for you. So you might be moved. Thomas Harley, we're going to bring you back to the team. Shane Pinto, you're going to return. But yeah, I just thought about that right now. Jason Robertson, you are not safe. There's actually a very good chance you get traded. Now that I've said that, bro's not going to want to sign with the team. Never mind, yes he will. So all of our players are going to be returning here, except for potentially Jason Robertson, who we might trade away in a couple seconds. Alright, you got to hear me out out here because I'm cooking so much you don't even understand. Jason Robertson over to the Devils, Luke Hughes, Nosen, and 2 first-round picks. One thing you might not know right now is Nosen is one of the best players in the game at an 88 overall. I bet you didn't realize that. Yep, bro is absolutely elite at 33 years old. So we're going to get all of these assets right here, or at least I thought we were going to get all those assets. Can we at least walk away with Hughes, Nosen, and a first-round pick? I believe we should be able to, and it looks like we will. So Luke Hughes is going to be helping the defense quite a bit here, but now we need an upgrade to the forward core because we just lost Jason Robertson. Well, don't worry, because I know how to replace Jason Robertson. So this is what we're going to do next with Nosen. I'm going to package him up with Luke Evangelista. We're going to send both of these guys over to the Anaheim Ducks. Mason McTavish, Trevor Zegras, welcome to the team. 2 good young pieces that are going to slowly develop with the team. We're bringing a lot of great young talent onto this team, and as long as this young talent develops, we're going to be in a really good spot in just 2 or 3 years. I'll throw a 3rd rounder into the deal. That's not going to be enough. I'll give you a 2nd round pick. As long as I don't have to give you a 1st rounder, I'm going to be happy. So here's a 2nd round pick. They're saying no. They want a 3rd round pick as well. So here's a 3rd round pick. Hopefully this is all going to be enough here. It's still not enough. I think I might have to give you New Jersey's 1st round pick, and I can guarantee you this is going to be a top 10 pick. So we're going to be trading a top 10 pick away here because that's how things are going to work. You better at least give me a 3rd rounder back. So I'm going to offer this package over. They're saying no. I'm not going to lie. Y'all are bugging. This is a very fair deal. Why will you not say yes? Here is a 3rd round pick as well. Anaheim, stop being greedy. This is such a fair deal and you just won't accept it. Now, like, real talk, y'all are bugging. Here's a 2nd round pick. Why will you not accept this? Just accept the deal. Trade value wise, we're giving you so much, it's ridiculous. We got fleeced there. I understand we got fleeced, but we had to get the deal done. But that was stupid. I can't wait to see Trevor Zegras ask for $15 million right now. He wants 6.1 for 1 season. I'm holding out. Nope, I will not give you that. I will not fold. We're holding out until you sign at least a 3-year deal. All right, Trevor Zegras, I guess you refuse to sign anything longer than 1 year, so here's 3.9 for 1 season. You're joining the team whether you like it or not. Now, that last draft completely turned things around for us. We brought in so many elite players that are going to be helping us a ton here. Are we going to be looking to win this season? Absolutely not. Like, we're still a bad team. But you know what? We have a pretty good top 6. We have a pretty good first pairing, and we also have a decent enough starting goaltender. So with all of those assets right there, we should be able to win a few games this season. Now, if you were to ask me at the beginning of the season, how good are the Baltimore Bulls going to be? Well, we're actually better than expected. 13th in the entire league, has a 2nd in our division right now. We're 2nd in the division. Meanwhile, the Boston Bruins, 5th in the entire league. They're currently in a wildcard spot because their division is so incredibly loaded. Tampa, Toronto, and Florida are all ahead of them. All these teams have 40+ wins at the trade deadline. Yeah, I would not want to be in the Atlantic Division right now. Luckily, we're in the Metro, and that's an absolute dumpster fire right now. Wyatt Johnston, 80 points so far. Ridley Gregg, 62. We'll probably trade him away because his trade value is probably skyrocketed. Dylan Cousins, 60 points. Trevor Zegras, 55. Mason McTavish, 54. Now, we're building a pretty elite team here. We just got to allow the young guys to develop. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, do what you can here. I'm not expecting you to be a superstar, but if you can somehow help us get into the postseason, that'd be amazing. Now, Ridley Gregg, I did just mention I was contemplating trading you. Barring what your trade value is, we might be making a move here, but it's really not that high. Nobody's trade value is really skyrocketed here, so I don't think we're going to make any moves. We're not going to make any hasty decisions. I mean, I guess one thing we could do is potentially trade next season's 1st round pick, because we are going to be even better next season. This pick's going to decrease in value. We might be moving a 2028 1st round pick here, so considering we're going to be even better next season, our 2028 1st round pick is going to be sent over to Utah. Sean Durzi and a 2nd round pick is going to be acquired. I'm actually really surprised we can't even get a 2nd round pick. I feel like we should be able to get something alongside Sean Durzi. So how about instead of that 2nd rounder, you give me 2 3rd round picks here? They're saying no. How about you give me 1 3rd round pick? This is a fair deal, and we're finally getting it done. So Sean Durzi, welcome to the team. The defense is looking even better. All right, so we got to hand out some extensions. And Trevor Zegras, what are we doing here, my guy? What are we doing? I need to sign you long term, and you're just not helping me here. I'm not giving you like 7.5 million. We're not going to be able to get a deal done with Trevor Zegras. We're holding off till the re-sign phase. Don't be surprised if he gets traded. Bro's bugging. Everyone else is just going to be signed to whatever they're asking for. Not Trevor Zegras, though, because he's an L-Mans. Alright, so I do want to mention, we still have a 60 overall on our 4th line. But even with that player, a 45, 32, and 5 record, we're in the postseason. Now, how in the world did that happen? Well, Wyatt Johnston picked up 102 points. That helps quite a bit. Dylan Cousins, 77. Ridley Gregg, 77. Mason McTavish, 70. Trevor Zegras, 70. Shane Pinto, 68. All of these guys either scored 25 goals or more. Yeah, they were pretty reliable. Did I expect expect us to make the postseason? Absolutely not. I honestly thought we were still going to be one of the worst teams in the entire league. But here we are, making the playoffs. We're taking on the New Jersey Devils in the first round. This is a Mickey Mouse first round matchup. Neither of these teams should be here. We shouldn't be in the playoffs. The New Jersey Devils shouldn't be in the playoffs. But here we are. Like, for a little bit of context, Boston's taking on Carolina in the first round. Boston was a wildcard team. Carolina won the division. Boston actually has a better record than Carolina. That's how bad the Metro division was, and we're about to lose in the first round to the New Jersey Devils. We're down 3-1. Let's be honest, are we really surprised? We have a 60 overall on the fourth line. Clearly, this team's not going to be competing, but we did win game number 5 there. Are we going to win game 6? Probably not. I'm embracing the loss. Now we're embracing the win. We were down 3-1 this series. There is no reason we should be competing with the Devils right now. There's no reason we should be up on the Devils. How are we destroying the Devils? 6-0. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. You got to relocate. Shout out to Mason McTavish. He picked up a hat trick. But no, the Devils got to relocate. Ain't no way you just blew a 3-1 series lead to us. So what a surprise. The Boston Bruins are making it to the second round. I think we all knew that was going to happen. They're better than Carolina. Now we got Baltimore versus Boston. But I feel like you can't sleep on the Baltimore Bulls right now. Like, we just made a 3-1 series comeback. We're looking to win more games here. We allowed 8 goals in game number 1. Reality is officially set in. We're not ready to compete. Unless we can make another 3-1 series comeback here, which I highly doubt is going to happen. Never mind. We're just going to make multiple 3-1 series comebacks. We're going to win game number 6 and go to game 7. Yep, I think we all saw that coming. No, but seriously, what are we doing here? How are we just constantly making 3-1 series comebacks? That shouldn't be happening. It's going to be a scoreless first period. Moving into the second, we are not doing this. We are not making another 3-1 series comeback. So Doros going to tie this game up. We're off to overtime. Who's going to show up in overtime? Sean Durzi. We made another 3-1 series comeback. We're in the conference finals in year 3. We started with no players. All right then. So we moved on to the conference finals. We got the Florida Panthers up next. I have absolutely no clue how we made it this far, considering we were down 3-1 twice. But yeah, we got the conference finals for the Baltimore Bulls. I don't even know what to say. Like, for real, I can't gas this team up because we've been down 3-1 multiple times now. Are we going to sweep the Florida Panthers? Okay, I saw us win those first 2 games. I started getting a little bit hyped for this team. I thought we were actually going to do the impossible, but nope, we're actually going to lose 4 straight games. I really don't know how good our team is. I feel like we're good, and then I feel like we're absolute crap. Are we going to win this game? Barkov's going to be picking up his second of the game. He's going to pick up a hat trick in overtime here. Dylan Cousins is scoring. Are we really going to make it to the Stanley Cup Final? We're 1 game away. Like, this just doesn't make sense. Like, I really don't know what to say. We don't deserve to be here. We're not a good team. Like, we have a 60 overall on the 4th line, and somehow we're going to make it to the Stanley Cup Final. We're in the Stanley Cup Final unless we completely collapse. We scored 7 goals in Game 7. We are in the Cup Final in year 3. What kind of a Mickey Mouse Stanley Cup playoffs are we witnessing? The 4th-seeded Winnipeg Jets taking on the 3rd-seeded Baltimore Bulls. Neither of these teams deserve to be here, but they're here. So one of them's coming out on top. Like, I really don't know what to say. The Baltimore Bulls have really made it to the Stanley Cup Final with a 60 overall on the 4th line. We split the series with Winnipeg. Game 5 is going to be a big game. Are we going to steal that one away? Of course we're not, because we're going to drop game number 5 and then win game 6 and game 7, because that's what we do. Somehow we play our best with our backs against the wall. Is that going to be happening again? Shane Pinto's picking up a power play goal. Luke Kunin's going to be responding in the second period. Can the Baltimore Bulls stay alive, or is reality going to set in? Nope, reality's not a thing anymore. We're in game 7. This is by far the wildest postseason I've ever seen. You don't see teams like the Baltimore Bulls. Teams like this just don't exist for a reason. We're in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Reality has finally set in. The collapse has begun. Unless we have a huge third period, we're going to be losing in the Stanley Cup Final, and we lost in Game 7. The Baltimore Bulls made it all the way to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final to finally collapse. This team didn't deserve to be here, but they made it pretty far. They did the impossible here. How did we just accomplish that? We're falling in the Stanley Cup Final. Wyatt Johnston, 35 points. Mason McTavish, 28. Dylan Cousins, 26. I can't believe we did that. I still haven't processed how we did that, because this shouldn't have been possible. Like, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen had an 896 and a 350, but made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Final in Game 7. Bro played in 4 Game 7s. He had a 350 and an 896. We defied all the odds. We did everything the hard way, and we did all of this to miss the playoffs next year, because that's probably what will happen. All right, so we already know Landon DuPont's going to be going first overall here. So what do I have to trade away to get the first overall pick? I'll give you the 32nd overall. I'll give you Thomas Harley. Is that going to be enough? They'll have too many skaters. Give me somebody who has no value. Clem Costin apparently has 0 value, so I'll take on his contract. Is this enough for the first overall pick? They're saying no. That's not really a surprise. I mean, truthfully, if we somehow pull this deal off, we're just going to be trading for probably Macklin Celebrini. We're just going to be giving them the player back. I'll give you Trevor Zegras as well. Is that going to be enough? Who else do you have that you don't want? Like, give me Cole Koepke as well. I'll take on Cole Koepke's contract. Is this enough for the first overall pick? They're saying no. I'll give you a couple more draft picks. I don't really know what else we have here. Like, I guess I can give you this 3rd rounder and this 4th rounder. Can we get the first overall pick and Landon DuPont for this? Absolutely not. What if I gave you Wyatt Johnston instead? What if we did the 32nd overall Thomas Harley and Wyatt Johnston for the first overall pick? We fleece them. Because I'm going to be really cheap with this. We're drafting Landon DuPont. I made that trade with the San Jose Sharks. We are trading Landon DuPont to San Jose. You're giving me those players back. All right, so this is the deal I'm going to be looking at. It's going to be Landon DuPont over to the San Jose Sharks for Thomas Harley, Wyatt Johnston, Quentin Musty, and Sam Dickinson. Will you give me all 4 of those players? We got to include a little bit more. So yeah, this is a pretty good deal for us. Basically, we traded Thomas Harley and Wyatt Johnston and something else, the 32nd overall. For Landon DuPont, we're going to then flip Landon DuPont in a 3rd rounder back over to San Jose. We're going to get Quentin Musty and Sam Dickinson in the deal. They want a bit more. I'll give you whatever you need when it comes to draft picks. Here's a 4th rounder as well. So yeah, we're fleecing them. You know what? I didn't really think about this, but Cole Koepke and Clem Costin, I guess I could bring you guys back to the team as well. Like, there's nothing stopping me from bringing Cole Koepke and Clem Costin in. So yeah, that trade worked out for us because now we don't have to play a 60 overall on our 4th line. We can play Cole Koepke and Clem Costin. But my biggest option, Trevor Zegras, what are you looking for? Do I want to give you $8.9 million for the next 5? You're an 87 overall. You have low top 6 potential now, but you're not a terrible player. Like, you're an 87 overall. You're not really that bad here. I just don't want to give you that no movement. Can we turn that no movement into something else? Actually, I can just take it away. If I take it away, it actually doesn't change your contract interest that much. So here's 7.8 for the next 5. If you accept that, you know what? That's going to turn out to be a great deal for us. He's going to be rejecting it basically because we didn't give him the no movement. So we'll do $8 million for the next 5, a no movement with a 50% modified no trade. Trevor Zegras, you will be returning to this team. Maybe you won't be. I'm getting very sick and tired of this, man. Like, I'm sorry, Zegras. You're not getting a no movement. I'm not giving you that. I will give you $8.2 million. That is basically the max I'm willing to give you. You will accept this because your contract interest is almost maxed out. Zegras is returning. Low-key kind of hate Zegras right now. All right, so we have some extensions to hand out, but luckily everyone's actually willing to sign an extension here. We're going to start with Sean Durzi. He's one of the key defensemen on this team. This isn't going to be too bad of a deal. We're going to be looking at 6.6 for the next 6. Yeah, that's a fair deal. So Sean Durzi is going to be returning. That's only $600K more than what he's getting paid right now. Kissikov's turned out to be actually a really solid player for us. 83 overall, medium top 6 potential. We're going to lock him down for the next 2 years at $2.5 million. 2.5 is pretty fair for him. Anthony Beauvillier, I think we actually might ride out your contract. I take that back. You want $1.8 million, so Anthony Beauvillier will return. But these are the 2 big deals we're going to be looking at. Frondell and Quentin Musty. Frondell, you want $2.1 million. I thought you were going to be asking for significantly more. What if we did an 8-year deal? You want 2.8 if we did 8 years. How about I give you like $4 million for the next 8? I'll give you $4 million for the next 8 years, and then you return to this team for basically the rest of your life. That works for me. Quentin Musty, can we do the exact same thing? If I did 8 years, you want $6.7 million. Okay, you're kind of being an L-mans here, but I'll do 1 year at 2.3 or something. I'll do 2.4 for 1 season, so Quentin Musty's going to be returning. We're going to be bringing everyone back to the team here. We just have to continue to work on that defense. All right, now I usually gas up Dylan Cousins and talk about how he's always going to be a really good player. You can usually trade him for really cheap. And he was a really good player for us last season. Like, don't get me wrong, one of the best players on this team. However, I kind of like JJ Peterka a little bit more. Under contract for the next forward, $4.7 million. He's going to be a good sniper for us. On top of JJ Peterka, we can probably get this young prospect right here, 79 overall, medium top 6 potential. If we can get both these assets for Dylan Cousins, this is a steal of a deal. They're saying no, but I'll give you a couple draft picks. We don't really have that many draft picks to work with, but yeah, I'll give you everything for 2028, and you give me that medium top 6 potential player. Let's call it a fair deal. All right, so last season we made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Final and lost in Game 7. After winning 3 straight Game 7s, we lost the 4th one. But you know what? That's not going to happen again here. We've made some nice additions over the offseason. The team has never looked this good before. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, it's time for a career season. Ravensburg, you're up to an 80 overall. You might be taking over as the starter pretty quick here, but until then, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is the guy, and we're going for a Stanley Cup this season. We're not going to fold in Game 7 this time. Now, the Baltimore Bulls are on an absolute heater right now. 4th in the entire league, a 43-19-2 record. We're scoring 3.5 3.5 goals per game, but only allowing 2.64, the best in the entire league. We are flying right now. Like, I knew this team was going to be good this season, but I could have never expected we were going to be this good. Everyone's performing here. Ridley Gregg, 67 points. Trevor Zegras, 60 points. Mason McTavish, 54. And then, of course, Wyatt Johnston leading the way. He's got 69 points. Then when it comes to goaltending, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, you've been great, but look at Ravensburgen. 11 wins, 3 shouts, a 929 and a 198. He is certainly the guy for the future. We have our future goaltender here. Bro is absolutely locked in right now. He's going to be the future for this team, and considering this team looks so good right now, I don't want to make any trades. We really don't have that many assets we can actually trade away because we've traded way too many picks here, so we're just going to rock with this team, but I think that's the right decision. Also, now that we've completed the trade deadline, I'm just going to re-sign everyone here. So Alex Iver getting 2.3 for the next 2 years. Cole Koepke is the bottom 6 piece. I'm willing to bring you back here, barring the right price, and this is certainly the right price, 1.9 for 1 season. Klim Kostin, you can play some good bottom 6 minutes for us, so I'll keep you on the team as well, 1.4 for the next 2. And then Vakanen, I'll keep you on the team as well, 1.8 for the next 3. So everyone's going to be returning here. We got nothing to worry about. Now, it was a great year for the Baltimore Bulls, second in the entire league, a 53-25-4 record, 3.45 goals per game, but just look at that defense, 2.7 allowed, one of the best in the entire game. Wyatt Johnston, 94 points. He's certainly holding up his end of the bargain. Ridley Gregg as well, 80 points, 34 goals, 46 assists. He might play some top line minutes next season. Mason McTavish, he's picking up 72 points here. I think we do have to bring some more right wingers on the team because, yeah, we have one right winger in JJ Peterka, and that's about it. When it comes to goaltenders, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, you were actually really good. 39 wins, 2 shots, a 908 and a 283. I know I was gassing up our backup at the trade deadline, but no, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, he's been holding it down for us. But can he hold it down again? We're taking on the Devils in the first round. Baltimore's looking to create some noise here, and they're looking to win a Stanley Cup, not fall in Game 7 again. So here we go, Baltimore. It's time to lock in. Let's set a statement here in round number 1. Let's sweep the New Jersey Devils. We are clearly not going to sweep this team. We might even get eliminated. We got to win game number 5. We can't afford to lose game 5 here. We're going to be stealing game number 5 away 5-4, but can we steal game 6? That's going to be the real question mark. We can't afford to lose this one. We can't go to game 7. This team loves game 7. I just have to accept that. Like, every series we've been involved in for the Baltimore Bulls, every one of them has gone to Game 7. And you know what? We have a pretty good record in Game 7, and that record's going to get even better. We are 4-1 in Game 7s. The only one we lost, the Stanley Cup Final. Alright, so in reality, I think we should just start simming to Game 7 because we know every series is going to end up going to 7 games. So we're taking on the Rangers. Let's immediately simulate to Game 7. Like, we know we're going to have to jump into Game 7 because we've jumped into Game 7 in every series so far. So let's just immediately sim to Game 7, or we could sweep the Rangers. I would be okay with that as well. We're taking down the Rangers, and now we have the Tampa Bay Lightning. How about we sweep the Tampa Bay Lightning? Now that I've mentioned sweeping the Tampa Bay Lightning, we're going to have to go to 7 games in this series. It would only be fitting. We do have a 3-1 series lead, though. We are 1 game away from the Stanley Cup Final, and we're headed back. So last season, we made it to the Stanley Cup Final, and we fell in 7 games. This time, it's not going to happen. We are a significantly better team. We're taking on the Dallas Stars. Baltimore's ready to come out on top. So all I need this team to do is win 4 more games. And 4 games is very possible for us. But we got to start with game number 5 because we split the series so far. Why am I not surprised we're off to game 7 again? We have to get through game 6 first, but we all know we're going to win game 6 only to lose in game 7. It would only make sense for us to go to another game 7. We're picking up the first goal, we're picking up the second goal, we're winning this game 4-1. We all knew that was going to happen. We're in game 7. So we're 4-1 in game 7, but we're 0-1 in game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. We're going to change that right here. We're going to make it 1-1. We're going to win game 7 right here, and we're going to be it's the same thing. The exact same thing happened. I think last time we allowed 4 goals in the first period. Then we tried to make a comeback in the second. We scored 1 goal, and then it was a scoreless third period for us. What's happening? Well, technically we're scoring 1 goal, but it came with 39 seconds left in the game. We lost in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final once again. Back-to-back years we made to Game 7. If we play Game 7 in the first round, second round, or conference finals, we're perfect. We'll never lose that Game 7. If we play Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final, we're going to lose no matter what. It's rigged. Like, we didn't just make 2 deep postseason runs all the way to the Stanley Cup Final, only to lose in Game 7 both times. Trevor Zegras, you're the best player, 24 points. Ridley Gregg, 21. We're running it back with the same team. I refuse to change any of the pieces here. We're running it back with the exact same team. But no, this is ridiculous. Also, I feel like it goes without saying we're not making any draft picks here because we have no draft picks. I traded all of them away in order for us to win a Stanley Cup, and we've lost in Game 7 2 times in a row. You can't make stuff like this up. Also, we don't have to worry about re-signing anyone because we already re-signed everyone. So although we didn't have to re-sign anyone, we still have to give out extensions. But luckily, we have a ridiculous amount of cap space. We're starting with Luke Hughes. We are trading Luke Hughes. I'm not giving him 12.5 million. That's just not going to happen. Ridley Gregg, how much are you looking for? You want 10 million for the next 2. I want to do a long-term deal, so I'm going to hold off on that. Shane Pinto, what are you going to be looking at? You're playing third line minutes for us right now. And you know what? At this price tag, I guess I can keep you around. We'll do 5.4 for the next 4 years. Maybe you're going to have a top 6 role. We'll find out pretty quick. And then when it comes to Sam Dickinson, this is going to be a great deal for us. 4.7 for the next 5 years. He's going to develop into like an 87 overall pretty quick. We're just getting steal after steal right now. But we do have both of our goaltenders to give extensions to. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, I can certainly give you this. We'll do $5 million for the next 5 years. Ideally, I think we'll have to do a little bit more, and it is going to have to be a little bit more. It'll be 5.2 for the next 5. So Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen sticking around. And then when it comes to our backup goaltender, of course, we have to lock him down for the rest of the rebuild. What are we talking about here? So we're probably going to be looking at 5.5 with a no movement in those final 2 seasons, but I could certainly do that. It's actually going to end up being less than that. We might be looking at $5 million for the next 7 years with a no movement. So Ravensburg, that's what you're going to be signing for. That's an absolute steal. Like, bro's going to be an 88 overall in a couple years. He might even be our starter next season. You really don't know. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. Luke Hughes and Quentin Musty are both going to be sent over to the Buffalo Sabres. We're bringing all of Buffalo's snipers onto the team. The next one's going to be Jack Quinn, 88 overall. We also need a replacement for Luke Hughes, so that's going to be Owen Power. He can play some top line minutes for us, 90 overall. That's going to be a really good deal. We're also going to bring in Mario Ferraro because we could use an upgrade when it comes to the third pairing defense. So Luke Hughes, Quentin Musty, are you going to be enough for all 3 of these players? They're saying no. Truthfully, I don't really care too much about Mario Ferraro, so maybe we can go 2 for 2 here. They're saying no. We got to be pretty close. It might just take a couple draft picks. So I'll throw in a 3rd round pick for 2029, and hopefully that's going to be enough. They're saying no. I'll give you a 2nd rounder. We might be looking at multiple seconds here. At the end of the day, I don't really care how many draft picks we have to trade away. I just want to make sure we can get these 2 players. So hopefully it's only going to take 2 2nd round picks because I don't want to trade more than this. No, we're really going to have to give up a 1st round pick, aren't we? So here's a 1st round pick for 2030. You're giving me Jack Quinn and you're giving me Owen Power. You are doing this. You're going to do this after I give you a 2nd round pick. But if you don't accept this, we're probably just going to do a different deal. But Buffalo's smartening up. So we're going to make one more move. Dermott and a 4th rounder for Semyonov. He's pretty young. I think he's only like 21 years old and he's an 82 overall. He's actually 19 years old and 82 overall. So yeah, that's a really good defenseman for us. It's a little bit low. I'll give him a 7th round pick and we'll get this deal done. So we're bringing in a good young defenseman. He'll play some 3rd line minutes for us. The top 4 is already set defensively. We just need some good young guys to play on the 3rd pairing. So we're entering year number 5, and this is the best the team's ever looked. From top to bottom, we have no weaknesses. Everyone knows how to step up on this team. The defense continues to get better. Owen Power, Thomas Harley is the top pairing. Sean Dursey, Sam Dickinson is the 2nd. And then when it comes to goaltending, we have 2 superstar goaltenders. Ravensburg is going to be taking over in just a couple seasons. But until that time, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, you're going to continue to be the number 1 here. All the moves I want to make, I complete before the season even starts, so we're not going to be stopping at the trade deadline. However, we will stop on January 1st because there are some guys that need to be re-signed. Alright, so Ridley Gregg, let's hope you're willing to sign a long-term deal here, and this is exactly what I'm looking for. We're going to be looking at $9 million for the next 5, so he's going to be sticking around for the rest of the rebuild. We actually might be doing less than that. 8.6 for the next 5 years, an absolute steal. So Ridley Gregg, you're going to be sticking around. Now, when it comes to the rest of our players, we actually have to be careful. We only have $4 million in cap space. So Beauvillier, can we actually afford to keep you on this team? I guess I can do 1.95 for next season. So Beauvillier is going to return. Cole Koepke, I highly doubt you're going to be returning though. You're wanting 2.1 million. I can't afford to do that. Luckily, we are going to have Buckley jumping into the lineup next season, so that's going to be a really cheap contract for us. Parker Kelly, I can keep you around. You're looking for $800K for the next 2 years. That's an absolute steal in my books. So once again, Baltimore is going to be right at the top of the league. We're 3rd with a 52, 24, and 6 record. Just win Game 7. That's all I have to say. In Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, you guys have to win. Wyatt Johnston, Mason McTavish, JJ Peterka, Trevor Zegers, Jack Quinn, Ridley Gregg, Frondell, Thomas Harley, Shane Pinto. I don't care who it is. In Game 7, when it matters most, it can even be Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for all I care. Somebody has to win the game for us. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, I don't even care if you score a hat trick in the Stanley Cup Final somehow. I don't know how that would even be possible, but if you could somehow do that, I don't care. Somebody has to perform. You know what? Why am I talking about Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen scoring goals? Buddy, keep the puck out of our net in Game 7. In the 2 times you've been in the Stanley Cup Final, in Game 7, you've probably allowed, what, 11, 12 goals combined from those 2 appearances in Game 7? Don't allow goals. I don't know why I'm yapping about you scoring goals. Keep the puck out of our own net. Like, at the end of the day, when it comes down to game 7, the only thing I care about is the big time players scoring goals in the most important game, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen keeping the puck out of our net. I basically need you to pick up a shutout in that game. If you don't pick up a shutout, we're going to lose the game. However, let's just focus on getting out of the first round, because there's a very good chance we're about to be down the series. Luckily, we're going to be winning that game, so all we have to do is win one more here, and we're going to be sitting nice, but we're probably off to game 7. Surprisingly, we actually don't have to go to game 7 here. It looks like we're changing things up. Now, a round of applause for the Baltimore Bulls. We didn't have to go to game 7 in the first round, but that doesn't change the fact we need to win game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final. That is really the only thing I'm focused on right now. Like, when we reach the most important game, which is game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final, are we going to show up? Or are we even going to show up in this series right here? Because I think we're in the trenches. We are in the absolute trenches. We're down 3-1. All right, let's not even focus on game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Let's focus on game 5 of the second round. Because right now, we're not even on pace to make it to the Stanley Cup Final. And there's a very good chance, unless we wake up in the third period, we're about to be eliminated. That really just happened. Okay then. Well, I guess we don't have to worry about losing in game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, because we're not even making it out of the second round. This team is in the absolute trenches. Like, we really can't get out of them. Now, making it to game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final in back-to-back years, I think that gave us some unrealistic results. Like, we're expecting that every year now. We shouldn't expect to make it to game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final every season. However, I think we are seeing some good progression here. Mason McTavish, he's up to like, what, a 91 overall? Yeah, Mason McTavish 91 overall, Wyatt Johnston 91 overall, JJ Peterka an 88 overall, Jack Quinn an 86. Beauvillier even had himself a really good postseason. He's up to an 83 overall, and we re-signed him. You know what? I think the boys were just exhausted. They played way too many postseason games in a row. Like, we had 2 incredibly deep Stanley Cup runs, then we had 2 long regular seasons. I think we were just exhausted. It was only a matter of time before we lost. We're falling in the second round. You know what? We're going to be bouncing back pretty quick here, because we'll just win next season. That's the plan. All right, so for the first time in a long time, we actually have some draft picks to work with, and we're going to be bringing in a medium top 6 potential player. That guy will probably be moved in just 1 or 2 seasons. But you know what? Who cares about that guy we just got in the first round? A 65 overall medium league potential goaltender here in the third round. He's only 19 years old, so he still has a couple years of development. That's a great selection. And we're not done with the medium league potential players yet, because now we're securing another one in the 4th round. So in the re-sign phase, we really don't have to do too much. Buckley's going to be signed. He's going to play some 4th line minutes for us. Other than that, Kepke's going to be walking. Fitzgerald's going to walk. We're going to let all these guys walk here. So we're going to have $4 million in cap space, but we're going to have to spend all of that money re-signing players, because there's going to be some hefty contracts handed out. All right, so here's the big extensions I was talking about. Thomas Harley, Wyatt Johnston, Mason McTavish. We got to bring all these guys back to the team, and all of them are going to want a lot of money. Starting with Thomas Harley, he's one of our top defensemen, so we got to give him what he's asking for. So we're going to be looking at $11.2 million for the next 7. He gets a no movement alongside a modified no trade at 50% team protection. So Harley's going to be returned to the team. When it comes to Wyatt Johnston, though, yeah, we got to trade him. I can't do $15 million. That's absurd. So he's going to be shipped out here. And then when it comes to Mason McTavish, he's going to be traded as well. I just can't do that, boys. What are we doing here? Like $12 million for 1 season? You got to help me a little bit. But you know what? This actually might work out for us, because just look at the trade values of these 2 guys. We can bring in some really good players for them. All right, now this might be one of the most interesting deals I've ever pulled off. Wyatt Johnston and Mason McTavish for Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, and 3 first-round picks. Trade value wise, I actually think this is a fair deal just because of how high Wyatt Johnston's and Mason McTavish's trade values are. But let's not act like Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki are bad players. Cole Caulfield, 90 overall. Nick Suzuki, 90 overall. So we're bringing in 2 90 overalls and 3 first-round picks. They're going to be rejecting that offer, but I think we're really close here. So if I give you a 2nd-round pick, is that going to be enough to make the difference here? Maybe we just get 2 first-round picks. Even if we only get 2 first-round picks in this deal, I still feel like we're getting an amazing deal done. They're saving money to re-sign their pending free agents. So what if I didn't offer you both of these guys and instead flip Mason McTavish elsewhere? Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. Mason McTavish and a 2nd-round pick for 2031. We bring in this medium league potential player from the Islanders, as well as 2 first-round picks. And if we package those picks up and send them over to the Montreal Canadiens, we should be able to get Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield. But instead of 2 first-round picks, we might only be getting 1. But if I'm only getting 1 first-round pick here, you better at least give me a 2nd and 3rd rounder. So we'll offer this package over to the Islanders. They're going to be accepting it. Now let's flip those assets over to Montreal. So Wyatt Johnston, that medium league potential player we just picked up for 2 first-round picks, Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield. They're rejecting that. But what if I give you the Islanders first-round pick? Like, I can give you this Islanders first-round pick and we can get it done, or I can give you this Islanders second-round pick and we get it done. I mean, at the end of the day, how much do I care about these first-round picks? Not that much. So how about you just give me a 2031 first round pick? I offer this package over. They're saying no. We might have to swap first rounders. Or I'll swap a 2nd-round pick for a 1st-round pick. At the end of the day, we're going to get this deal done eventually, and I think we finally got it done. So I'll throw in the Islanders' second and third round pick. We're offering this package over to Montreal. They're accepting. Now, the real question mark about this deal right here is how much Nick Suzuki is going to be looking for when it comes to a contract extension. Like right now, he's not interested in an extension. If he wants $15 million, this probably won't happen. Even at $13 million, this probably won't happen. Like $13 million for Nick Suzuki just seems like a little bit too much. Unless we can get this significantly lower with a no movement, I don't think he's going to be returning. $12 million for the next 8 doesn't seem terrible. Like this doesn't seem like a horrible contract. If we do this though, we probably can't bring Thomas Harley back unless we make one more move. And I know what that move is going to be. So this is how we're going to free up our money. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is going to be sent over to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Greaves is going to be brought in to be our backup. We're getting a medium top 4 potential defensive prospect. And we're also going to be getting a third round pick. Well, maybe we're not getting the third rounder, but we're getting the defensive prospect and the backup goaltender. So that frees up about $5 million right there. And then now we should have enough money for Thomas Harley. Also, just to make sure we have enough money for Thomas Harley, Vakanen, I'm going to send you over to Dallas for a third round pick. Never mind, I'm sending you to Dallas for a fourth round pick. That frees up $1.4 million. And by freeing up that extra money, I know for a fact that we have enough cap space. Now, Thomas Harley rejected our last offer because we didn't have enough money, so now we'll do 10.9 for the next 7 with a full no movement. So that'll be enough money for him to come back. We're starting to slowly run into some cap problems, but you know what? I think we'll find a way to work around them. Alright, so we made some changes to the team. We had to make some difficult decisions, but you know what? I think those decisions worked out for us. From our first line to our fourth line, we're looking like we're in a really good spot here. Yeah, we have a 78 overall in the fourth line, but who cares about that? Because the rest of this team is incredible. Goaltending wise, that's the only thing I'm a little bit concerned about. Ravensburgen, I need you to be the number 1 guy for us this season. We're relying on you. You're 22 years old, only an 81 overall, but you're the number 1 here. I need you to be that guy. A lack of a goaltender might hurt us a little bit here, but we're looking at the future, and I believe in our goaltender. He's the future for this franchise. Now, we made some changes to the team, but we're still seeing a lot of success. 5th in the entire league, a 51-25-6 record. The offense not quite as good this season, and that's something that we definitely have to talk about, because our leading scorer was Trevor Zegras with 76 points. I don't know how in the world Trevor Zegras led the team with 76 points, but here we are. That has me a little bit concerned. Cole Caulfield, you weren't as good as I thought you would be. Nick Suzuki, you weren't as good as I thought you would be. Low-key, both of you guys let me down. Shane Pinto, you held up your end of the bargain here, but I'm expecting this team to be better. With that being said, Ravensburgen, I guess you were the backup this season. You're only an 81 overall still, but Jet Greaves, you held up your end of the bargain. 42 wins, 4 shots, a 915 to 266. All right, I'm sleeping on Jet here. Bro's actually elite, but I don't really care what Jet did in the regular season. This is where it matters most. And Jet, let's see if you can win in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, because that's the real question I have. I mean, maybe I shouldn't talk about Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final yet. We got to make sure we get out of the second round, because last postseason we were eliminated in the second round, but I don't think we have to worry about that. We almost swept the Philadelphia Flyers. Jets looked elite so far. I think we found our guy. So it was a dominant series against the Philadelphia Flyers. We have the New Jersey Devils up next. Let's get past this team and let's not stop. So we got past the Philadelphia Flyers, and Jet, you're the man for us. As long as you continue to perform like that, we're winning a Stanley Cup pretty easily. Like, bro really posted a 953 and a 140 in the first round. That's how good he was. If he continues to put up numbers like that, there's no team that's going to be able to stop us. We scored 10 goals in game number 1, but then we immediately collapsed and lost 2 of the last 2 games. That statement made very little sense. I don't know why I said it like that. I could have just said we lost back-to-back games, but nope, we lost 2 of the last 2. I don't know what I'm yapping about. We won game number 5. Why'd I say it like that? 2 of the last 2. We lost 2 in a row. Like, what am I yapping about? You know what? We're not going to worry about it. Stick on the ice is just saying words at this point. We got to focus up because we have game 7. It's not much of a surprise that we're seeing the Baltimore Bulls in a game 7. And you know what? We usually win game 7s. Apparently we're folding here. We allowed a goal with 18 seconds left in the second period. I don't know what this team's doing, but we're going to wake up in the third here. Alex Ives picking up a shorthanded goal, and then one of our elite players is picking up an overtime goal. And who's that player going to be? Redley Gregg. So once again, Jet Greaves, he proves he's the guy. So Baltimore's back in the conference finals. We're 2 for 2 when we're in the conference finals. The Stanley Cup Final is the one we really have to question about. But we have to take on the 56-win Florida Panthers. So Florida's not going to be an easy task for us. But if we can get past Florida, I don't think there's going to be a team that's going to be able to stop us. We've split the series so far with Florida. We can't afford to lose game 5 here. We're going to be stealing that one away. Can we steal game 6 and make it to the Stanley Cup Final? No, we can't. We need another game 7. The Baltimore Bulls in game 7 just goes hand in hand. And as long as that game 7 isn't in the Stanley Cup Final, we're going to find a way to win the series. We picked up back-to-back goals late in the third period, and we're going to make it 3 straight goals as we're going to score the OT winner here. We're off to the Stanley Cup Final. Nick Suzuki's our man. So we made it to the Stanley Cup Final once again, 3 times in the last 4 years. The only problem is 2 of those times we've lost in the Stanley Cup Final in Game 7. We're not doing that again. I refuse to lose in Game 7 again. We're not doing it. We're not losing in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final 3 times. We have a 3-1 series lead. 1 more victory is all we need here, and we're dropping game number 5. Please don't do this. Please do not blow a 3-1 series lead. The boys finally did it. The Baltimore Bulls, Stanley Cup champions. This team finally won it all. After a bunch of trials and tribulations, some difficult times for the team, we did it. We're Stanley Cup champions. Cole Caulfield, you might have been the missing piece. Nick Suzuki, 25 points. Trevor Zegras, 24. Jack Quinn, 21. We started off with only draft picks, and we were able to build a Stanley Cup winning team. But the job's not finished. Jet Greaves, the job isn't finished here. We got to go back to back. The question on whether or not you come back next season is kind of up in the air. I'm not going to lie, because I feel like you're going to ask for $18 million now. You performed during the postseason, a 927 and a 233. But how much do you want to be paid? Like, we have very little money we can actually offer you. Like, we're going to be losing a couple pieces here. But Jet Greaves, how much do you want? You want 2.1 million. That's not outrageous. I just don't think we have 2.1 million. All right, I simulated 1 day and now we have enough money for Jet Greaves. Like, all I had to do was wait for the salary cap to go up. But if we did a multi-year deal, what's he looking for? Okay, 5.6 million. That is certainly not going to happen here. But we can do $2 million for 1 season. He'll accept that deal. And then Ravensburgen, we might trade you away. I'm going to be honest. Well, that certainly works. We got the 3rd overall pick from the Islanders. I completely forgot we still had that 1st round pick. So yeah, what a trade that turned out to be. So right now we have unknown scouting on who's going to be going 1st overall. What are the odds he has franchise potential? I saw that coming. I saw that coming from a mile away. But you know what? I'm actually still happy with the player we're walking away with, because we're going to be getting a gem, a right winger, which we desperately need, and they're a power forward. So everything I could have asked for in this player we're getting. But you know what's better than 1 medium-elite potential player, 2 medium-elite potential players, and we're going to be securing 1 in the 2nd round with the 66th overall pick. No, it's really just been hit after hit. Now we're getting a medium-elite potential goaltender. We're probably going to trade him in order to pick up another backup. But yeah, that's another great selection. Now, more than likely, we're going to have to make a handful of difficult moves here. Like, we're going to be losing a handful of these key players. Semyonov, I'm going to qualify you as an RFA because I know for a fact you're going to want like $18 million. You want 5.7. You're an 83 overall. We just can't do that. Alexeyev, Beauvillier, Klim Kostin, Genborg, all of you guys are probably going to be walking here. Like, we're just in a tough spot. Like, we really can't afford to keep everyone around here, so we're going to do what we can. Gesakov, I want to give a massive shout to you though. 27 years old, up to an 85 overall. I brought you in for absolute scraps, and you turned into a solid player, and you helped us win a Stanley Cup, so I can't thank you enough. But when it comes to all these UFAs, we're going to be losing them. Now, these are 2 extensions I'm not sure if we're going to be able to afford. Owen Power and Cole Caulfield. So Owen Power's looking for $11 million. We could probably get that done. Like, we could do $10 million for the next 6, and that leaves us with another $10 million for Cole Caulfield. So he's going to be accepting that, and then Cole Caulfield, how much are you looking for here? 10.4, we can get it done. So Cole Caulfield's going to be returning to the team as well, but we're going to be looking at 9.5 million for him. If we can get Cole Caulfield for 9.5, that's an absolute steal. So Cole Caulfield's returning to the team. JJ Peterka, on the other hand, we're going to trade you away because we're going to need some guys for the bottom 6. So JJ Peterka, I have to trade you away because I can't afford to lose you for nothing. We're going to send you over to the Calgary Flames. Parazak, Stutzelov, a 3rd and 5th rounder are going to be acquired. Moving forward, we can't be losing some of our key pieces for nothing. Now, we need to pick up a couple 3rd pairing defensemen as well as a couple guys for the bottom 6. So that's what we're going to get from the Carolina Hurricanes in a deal like this. Del Mastro, Baldenka, and Rene, all of them are going to be acquired. Those are 3 good players that are going to play a crucial role on this team. Without these guys, we're probably not going to be able to win another Stanley Cup. Now, we have to make one more move before we're ready for next season. So that medium-elite potential player we drafted, the one in the 2nd round, certainly not our 3rd overall pick. Him and a 6th round pick are going to be sent over to the Nashville Predators. We're picking up Ekberg and Baki, 2 guys that are going to play some bottom 6 minutes for us. We probably didn't even have to include that 6th rounder, but you know what? I felt gracious enough to give that to them. Now, last season was pretty spectacular. I got to give it to the team. I did not expect us to win with Jet Greaves, and since we won with Jet Greaves, I rewarded him. What did I reward him with? Well, becoming this team's backup because Ravensburgen's now up to an A4 overall, so he's the starter. Jet Greaves, you won 1 Stanley Cup for us, and now you're the backup. It's just the way it goes, I guess. Now, things are a bit different this time around because we have a new starting goaltender. However, we're going to have the same result here. We're bringing home a Stanley Cup. A 51, 23, and 8 record. The offense is great here. The defense is great. There's nothing wrong with this team. Cole Caulfield, 88 points. Nick Suzuki, 87 points. Frondell, 86. So that first line was certainly performing here. The second line, not the greatest in the world, but you know what? I know these players are going to step up in the big time moments. Ravensburgen, 36 wins, 2 shouts, a 905 205 and a 285. I don't care at all what the regular season numbers look like, but you need to step up in the postseason. This is where it matters most, and this is the first time you're going to see some postseason action. We're taking on the New Jersey Devils in the first round. So Ravensburgen's got the postseason for the first time in his career. And you know what? Dropping game number 1's not a great start, but you know what? That game wasn't his fault. He did what he could. Game number 4, though, you allowed 5 goals. You can't be allowing 5 goals. We got to steal game 5 away, and we can't afford to lose that one. It doesn't look like we're dropping that one, so let's close down game number 6 and move on. That's exactly what the team's doing. So Baltimore's going to be getting past the New Jersey Devils. Not too much of a surprise there, but now this is going to be our first tough matchup, the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, there were some competitive games in our first round matchup. You know what? I'm hoping that doesn't happen again here. I want to blow them out in every single game. We allowed 4 goals in game 1, 6 goals in game 3, 6 goals in game 4. Alright, not what we're looking to do here. Like, I know we have a different goaltender in between the pipes, but he was the higher overall of the two. I think we had to ride with him. Maybe we should have went with Jet Greaves, and I think we should have went with that man, because we're going to fall here in the second round. Should have went with Jet. Jet, I want to apologize to you. I messed up here. I messed up big time. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to be winning a Stanley Cup here. The Vancouver Canucks are. Frondell, you showed up big time here, 11 points. Cole Coffey, you did what you could, 11 points. Owen Power, 10 points. Jack Quinn's picking up 9. That second line was just not good enough. Our second line let me down big time here, and so did goaltending. Ravensburg, I don't know if you're the guy here. Greaves, how much are you looking for? Because if we have to trade Ravensburg away to bring Greaves back, I wouldn't be against it. That's really going to depend on how much money he's looking for, though. Like, he's probably going to want a bag here. How much does he want? 5.1 million. I just can't do that. So Greaves is going to be walking, and I guess we're going to be stuck with Ravensburg. As long as Bro can develop to like an 86 overall, we won't be bad. But yeah, that wasn't a great showing in the postseason for you. Also showed to the Montreal Canadiens. They gave us the 17th overall pick. I'll certainly take it. Alright, so I think we got to make a decision here. Ridley Gregg. Last season, you played some bottom 6 minutes for us. I can't pay a bottom 6 player. I can't pay somebody playing on the bottom 6 8.6 million. That just doesn't make sense. Shane Pinto, you have a pretty solid fit on that second line. You didn't really play that bad last season. You were -4 though. But you know what? Ridley Gregg, you have a lot of trade value, and I want to try to capitalize on that. So if I package Ridley Gregg up with Montreal's first round pick, can we get the first overall pick from the Edmonton Oilers? They're going to be saying no. I'm going to give you multiple first round picks here. Now, who's the projected first overall pick? I actually don't know. I don't know what Bro's potential is. I'm just taking a risk here, assuming he has franchise. Applebee's projected number 1. We know absolutely nothing about him. He's going to have franchise potential. We all know this. Wow, we got really lucky there. I was about to give up quite a bit. But you know what? I still want Applebee, so now I'll just give you Ridley Gregg for him. As we know, it's way easier to trade for the player than the actual draft pick, and that was shown right here. So not only can I get Applebee, I can get something else as well. So how about you give me Applebee and a future second round pick, and we call this a fair deal? They're going to be saying no. What else do you realistically want here? Like, here's the 94th overall. That probably should be enough to get this done. They want a 7th round pick as well. I'm perfectly fine with giving that up. Applebee, you're going to be on a really cheap contract because it's going to be your entry level deal. Between you and the guy we drafted last season, we have 2/3 of a line. So when it came to the 11th overall pick that we got from the Montreal Canadiens, we're going to be walking away with a medium top 6 potential player. When it came to our first round selection, well, you don't need to see that. We'll pretend it didn't happen. So there's a handful of guys that we have to re-sign, but you know what? We also have a couple of rookies that we have to sign. We have the rookie that we drafted in the top 3 last year. He's up to an 85 overall, so it's going to be a great contract. He's on his entry level deal for the next 3. That's an absolute steal. And then we also get Applebee. He's an 83 overall. He's going to be on a really cheap contract. Our bottom 6 is going to be looking absolutely elite. When it comes to the actual players we have to re-sign, though, Parzak, we got to bring you back to the team. We want 2.9 for 1 season. We have $9.5 million in cap space, so we actually could do this. So here's 2.7 for 1 season. He's going to be coming back to the team. McKee, I can do 1.5 for sure, so he's going to be returning for the next 2. We got a 78 overall rookie who's only 20 years old. He's going to be jumping onto the team, signing his entry-level contract. We just have so many elite young players on the team, it's actually ridiculous. And then with everyone else, they're getting 2-way contracts. Well, Jet Greaves, it looks like you've smartened up a little bit, and we could re-sign you for the next 3 years. You could be our starting goaltender. And that's what we're going to do. Jet Greaves, welcome back to the team. 2.8 for the next 3 years. You're going to be our starter. Ravensburgen, we're trading you away. Now, there's a couple other players that need extensions, but these shouldn't be too difficult to get done. Like Trevor Zegras, what could you possibly be asking for? 10.4 million? Well, we got lots of money for you. So I'll do 9.7 with a no movement alongside a modified no trade. I'll actually get that up to 9.8 million, so he's going to be sticking around. It's only $1.6 million more than what he's getting paid right now, so that's not too bad. Ekberg, you're looking for 2.6 for the next 3 years. How about we do 2.3 million. 2.3 is actually going to be a little bit low, so 2.4 will get it done. So Ekberg's going to be returning as well. Buckley, you're not really interested in an extension right now, but we can still bring you back to the team. It'll be 2.1 million for the next 2. So he's going to be returning as well. Yeah, we're not going to have to worry about any contracts here. So here's what we're going to do here. Ravensburg, and I'm sending you over to the Red Wings. We're getting our backup goaltender as well as 2 third-round picks. The fact that you're not willing to give me 2 third-round picks is kind of absurd, but at least I'm going to be getting 1 here. Now, outside of that move, we're not doing anything. We're just running it back. So last season we were disappointed because we went with a different goaltender. We're not doing that anymore. This team you see right here is going to see very few changes over the next 3 years. We're going to try to run a majority of the same team for the next 3 years. I think we're going to be able to do it. I don't think we're going to run into any salary cap problems. Okay, Greaves, you have to be the number 1 here. I'm contemplating trading our goaltender just so we can get an 81 overall. Then we know Greaves is the number 1. Then again, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who our starting goaltender is. Once the postseason comes around, Greaves is going to be the guy for us. Like, I wouldn't care if Greaves sat all 82 games and our backup goaltender played every game for us. Once the postseason starts, Greaves is the guy. So Baltimore continues to be one of the best teams in the entire league. We're 3rd this season with a 53-25-4 record. But there is one thing I'm a little bit disappointed in. Not the fact that we didn't have a single point a game scorer, because we certainly should have had point a game scorers here, but it was who our starting goaltender was. Why wasn't Jet the starter here? He should have been the clear favorite in between the pipes, but all that matters is now that we've made the postseason, he's the starter going forward. Jet Greaves has led us to a Stanley Cup before. I'm giving him the reins once again. He's going to bring us home another one. And on top of all that, he's got himself a pretty easy first round matchup. He's going to get warmed up in this series against the Toronto Maple Leafs because, of course, we're not going to fall to the Toronto Maple Leafs. We might have dropped game number 2, but we're not going to drop multiple games here. We're definitely not going to be down 3-1 this series because that would never happen. Now, Toronto, if you win this series right here against the Baltimore Bulls, I won't rip on you as much as I do. However, if you lose this series to us and blow a 3-1 series lead, I'm allowed to rip on you for as long as I want. We just scored 9 goals. No, I take it back. Even if Toronto wins this series, I can still rip on them because they allowed 9 goals in a playoff game. Toronto, I was trying to be nice to you. I was trying to gas you guys up a little bit. You were going to beat a great team in the Baltimore Bulls, and then you allow 9 goals in one game. Even if you win this game right here, it doesn't matter. You allow 9 goals in an elimination game. You could have eliminated us. Instead, you allowed 9 goals. We're still going to be falling here in the first round, which probably shouldn't have happened considering we were the 3rd best team in the entire league. Yeah, maybe if we had a different goalie, this wouldn't have happened. But I traded last season's starter, and here we are, losing in the first round. It's not really ideal. So we got ourselves 2 more years to win a Stanley Cup here. The real question right now is, do we change goaltenders? Can Jet Greaves be the guy in the future? He was great for one postseason. We won't talk about what happened here, but you know what? I believe in him. In that one postseason run where we did win with him, he was dominant. And you know what? I just don't think he got enough reps during the regular season. So we're going to trade our backup goaltender so Greaves can get some more minutes. We can't have this man only playing 30 games in the regular season and then throw him into the playoffs. We're not going to see success doing that. So it's time for us to trade the backup. Greaves, you're getting all the starts. Now, we're not really going to be doing too much rebuilding here, but picking up a 76th overall defenseman here with the 27th overall pick, he'll either be a good trade asset for us or he's going to play some third pairing minutes in one season. Now, this is a big pickup right here, a medium league potential centerman. If we package him up with a first round pick, we should be able to get a really good rookie on their entry level contract and they can play some good bottom 6 minutes for us. But maybe we don't have to package that medium league potential player up with a first round pick because we could just package him up with this medium league potential goaltender. Those two guys together could certainly get us a great player. So we have $10 million in cap space, so we can re-sign Parzak if we want to. It's really going to depend on how much money he's looking for. $3.3 million. You know what? We have so much money, why not? I'll do 3.1 for the next 2 years, so Parzak's going to return. Stützle, more than likely you're going to leave the team here, but why not keep you around? We got the cap space. We can do what we want here. He's returning for $3.1 million. With our other 2 players, though, I'm going to let them walk. Also, when it comes to that backup goaltender that we brought in last season, yeah, we're not rocking him. Hillman, you're going to be the backup goaltender. Yeah, you're only a 76 overall, but I just need you to win a couple games for us. So Shane Pinto and Jack Quinn both have to return to the team, but I don't think it's going to be too difficult to get their extensions done. Like, Shane Pinto himself is only looking for like 7.5 million, and 7.5 is pretty reasonable for him, so he's going to return. On top of Shane Pinto, we also need to bring Jack Quinn back. I think he's going to ask for a similar amount, but he's actually going to be asking for less. Yeah, this is a really good deal. 6.4 for the next 4. So we've got the important pieces coming back here. When it comes to everyone else, I'm actually okay with them walking. But you know what? I guess we can bring some other guys back. Chad McKee, here's 1.5 for the next 2 years. That's a cheap enough contract. When it comes to this defenseman, though, I know he's going to want $8 million, so I'm not even going to bother offering him a contract. Now, I was originally going to look for a rookie on their entry-level contract, but Brad Lambert, I can bring you in for $3 million. So I'll trade that medium league potential player we got. We're getting Brad Lambert and a 3rd round pick. We will have to clear up a little bit of cap space, but that shouldn't be too difficult. Like, we could just do something as simple as this. Stützle, I was going to bring you back to the team, but now that we trade for Brad Lambert, I actually don't need you, so I'm going to send you over to Calgary. I was hoping to get that 3rd round pick. I could have just simply thrown a 7th rounder in the deal in order to get it done, but nah, let's just go 1 for 1. So meet the Baltimore Bulls for the next 2 years. The team's going to be looking exactly like this. We're not going to be making any changes. I believe in the core that we have here. I think we have a lot of talent here. However, when it comes to the goaltending position, we actually might have a different starter. I can't guarantee it. Okay, no, Jet Greaves is the guy. A handful of years ago, we drafted Linden. We got him in the 3rd round, 93rd overall. And bro has progressed to an 80 overall. So you never know, by the end of the season, he actually might move into the starter role. If not, Jet Greaves, I'm giving you another chance. We have a great team in front of Jet Greaves. He's proved that he can show up in the big time moments by winning that one Stanley Cup with us. The only thing we haven't seen from him is whether or not he can do it again, but I believe in him and I know he's going to lock in. So Baltimore's got themselves another 50 win campaign, a 52-25-5 record, 3.82 goals for, 2.87 goals against. So we're great on both sides of the puck. Cole Caulfield's got 90 points this season, consisting of 41 goals and 49 helpers. Frondell, 83 points. Nick Suzuki, 83. So the top line continues to be dominant, but the second line, although they're not producing statistically, the plus minuses look pretty solid. So you know what? We're going to rely on them. And then Jet Greaves, you know you're the guy for us. You played 62 games this season. You've got your legs. You're ready for the postseason. It's time for you to lock in. Now I'm going to need you to make an absolute statement in round number 1. We're taking on the New Jersey Devils. We've seen them a lot in this video, but this matchup's going to be different. We're taking them down a sweep. So here we go, round number 1. We know what the expectations are. It's a Jet Greaves masterclass. He's picking up 2 shutouts and we're going to sweep the Devils. We allowed 7 goals in game number 1. Why did we allow 7 goals in game number 1? Why would we do that? But the team is bouncing back. It looks like the offense is going, but goaltending has not been great for us. Jet Greaves, I need you to wake up here because you've been terrible so far the entire postseason. What are we doing here? Is Jet Greaves as our number 1 the mistake that we're making? Potentially. We could be falling in the first round for back-to-back seasons now. We can't allow that to happen. It looks like we're going to force game 7, and you already know this team shows up in game 7. So here we go, game 7 once again for the Baltimore Bulls. The one thing you have to know about this team, we always show up in game 7. And what are we doing again? Almost losing this game, but we're still going to win game 7. That was close. Way closer than it should have been. Now, we were lucky to get out of that series against the New Jersey Devils. Jet Greaves, if you play like that again, we're getting swept. Now, like, seriously, bro, what were you actually doing? You almost had a goals against a 4. We got out of the first round, even though he almost had a goals against a 4. That shouldn't even be possible here. I know we were great in game number 1. Are we sweeping the Pittsburgh Penguins? That's what I needed from this team. Well. We get our rematch. The Baltimore Bulls taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs here in the conference finals. Toronto embarrassed us last postseason. It won't happen again. Don't get me wrong though, Toronto was a really good team. They won 53 games this season, so we can't take them lightly. But we've won 4 games in a row, make that 5 games in a row. Are we sweeping them? No, we almost swept the Toronto Maple Leafs there. I was about to go in on them, but you know what? 5 games is sort of respectable. Not really. But yeah, we took down the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're back in the Stanley Cup Final. Jet Greaves, if we're able to win a Stanley Cup right here, I will never question you again, and you will go down as a stick on the ice legend. We have to win this series, though. We're taking on the Nashville Predators. We're going to sweep the Nashville Predators? No, we almost swept them. Closed out in game number 5. We're Stanley Cup champions. Jet Greaves, welcome to the club. You're a stick on the ice legend. But there is one thing that needs to be addressed in this Stanley Cup run. Frondell, you were great. Cole Caulfield, you were great. The forwards and defense on this team were great. We were producing offensively a ton here. When it comes to goaltending, though, okay, I thought these numbers were way worse. I thought he posted like an 880 and a 330 because there was so many games where he allowed like 5 or 6 goals. Jet Greaves, 16 wins, 4 losses, 1 OT loss, 1 shutout, a 902 and a 290. Jet Greaves, you're a stick on the ice legend. You're a Stanley Cup champion once again here, but we got one more season. Bruh, ain't no way our head coach just retired on us. We had 1 year left and bro retired. Nah, I'm sick. So Greaves was the man last season. He's won 2 Stanley Cups for us. As long as he gets enough reps during the regular season, he's going to be good. But I actually haven't looked at our goaltending situation, because I wouldn't be surprised if our medium elite potential backup goaltender is now taken over as the starter. Has he? Well, technically Hillman's an 83, so he got called up from the AHL, and our goaltender in the AHL is an 83 overall as well. Conroy, we're calling you up. We're saying the 283 overall is down. Greaves is the starter, and I got to make sure that he starts all season. So let's run it back one more time. The Baltimore Bulls, second in the entire league, a 53-21-8 record. We all know what this team's capable of. Cole Caulfield's going to lead the way, 93 points for a 93 overall. He's also picking up 50 goals in the process. Surprisingly, though, he was actually our only point-a-game player. Everyone else on the team under point a game. But you know what? None of that matters heading into the postseason, because that's when our big-time players are going to show up. Jack Greaves, you're one of those big-time players. Another amazing season. Let's go get one more Stanley Cup. We're taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first round. We're looking to repeat this season. It's a bit ridiculous how we weren't first in our division, but you know what? The Devils were ahead of us, so we got to respect that. But we'll take them down in the second round after we get past Pittsburgh. So all I need is 16 more wins. 16 more wins for the Baltimore Bulls, and we're Stanley Cup champions. And we're going to be finishing this video with 3 Stanley Cups, 2 of them back-to-back. You know what? I wouldn't be against that. We've won the first 2 games. Make that the first 3 games. A sweep over the Penguins. Not quite a sweep, but you know what? We'll take them down 5 games, and we're going to be moving on here. A great start to the postseason. The boys are locked in. Okay, I thought the boys were locked in. Why have we dropped back-to-back games now? We're not going to drop 3 straight. Of course, we wouldn't do that. We're really about to blow a 3-0 series lead. No, like, we're really about to do that. We're really about to blow a 3-0 series lead. We're exchanging goals in the first period. Moving into the second, we're not doing this. We are not blowing a 3-0 series lead. Thanks for watching the video. We did not just do that. We did not just blow a 3-0 series lead. Jack Greaves, I was looking at going back-to-back with you, but nope, we won the first 3 games in dominant fashion, by the way. 5 goals scored, 3 allowed. 3 goals scored, 1 allowed. 6 goals scored, 2 allowed. And then we just got completely smoked. We went on to score 5 goals in our final 4 games. We scored 5 goals in game number 1. Ain't no way.